What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Baker's DIY Lifestyle. So in today's video we are going to be tackling a very requested project on our John Deere Z540R. We're going to be installing our advanced chute blocker on this thing, and this has been a question that I've been getting asked ever since I put out my Gator Blade versus mulch kit video. And if you have not seen that video, I will put a card at the top of the screen right now so you can check that out. But we went through a comparison of the Oregon Gator Blades versus the traditional John Deere mulch kit, and we talked about why you can't use the Gator Blades with the mulch kit. So if you want more information on that, definitely check out the video to learn all kinds of stuff about the mower blades and the kit. But basically you can't use Gator Blades with it because it restricts airflow. So I ended up having to take my mulch kit off, and I was looking for something like this that I would be able to open and close the chute while we're mowing, just to keep grass out of people's mulch beds, keep stuff from flying out of the deck if we have to drive across gravel or something like that where we're worried we might shoot something into somebody's house. So we found this advanced chute blocker from Ballard Inc., and you can find all kinds of products on their website. They make a bunch of stuff for the lawn care industry, but this is one of the kits that I believe what happened is they bought it out from a different brand and then created a universal kit that will go on many different types of mowers. So most likely if you have a zero turn, they have a kit that will work for your mower. But this thing will come with a set of instructions that you can see me reading right beside me, and it also has a link to an installation video. And honestly, that video is the only reason I made it through all of the instructions. The best way to start out is to go ahead and take all of the nuts, bolts, and spacers out of the box, separate them out so that you have a clear indication of what is what and how many of each one that you have. That makes it a lot easier to tell which nut and bolt goes where, just because you kind of know the different sizes. Once they're all laid out side by side, it's a lot easier to tell. So we're going to go ahead and install our pull handle here. Once we get the pull handle installed, we'll be able to start modifying our deck. So I'm just going to run through this part right here, and then we'll get to the mower. Alright, and now that we're on the mower side of things, the only thing you have to do to install this is remove your original chute blocker. Well, not really a blocker, your chute flap. And then once you have that out of the way, you will use a couple of the stock holes in the deck for the advanced chute blocker, but you do have to drill an additional hole, and you also have to drill the carriage square holes out of the deck so that your new 1/2-inch bolt will drop through. And now that we have the original flapper taken off, you can take your new advanced chute blocker, and all you do is push it up against your deck, line it up as best you can left to right, make sure it's flush, and then see if any of the pre-drilled holes match any of the holes that are on your deck. So in my case, I found one that matched, and I also found a couple that I knew I was going to have to drill out. And then you can see right here they give you a spacer that you're going to have to use to raise the bottom of the advanced chute blocker so that it is perfectly flush with the bottom of your deck. So I'm going to pause here in just a second and show you a pro tip in order to hold this thing together and save you a lot of time when you're tightening these nuts down. So the kit comes with 3 long bolts, and again, this is kind of a universal kit, so they give you different size spacers to go on the advanced chute blocker. So what you can see that I did right there was put the long spacer that I need to make it flush on the bottom, and then a shorter spacer on top, and then the nut. What that allowed me to do was slide the advanced chute blocker plate in between the two spacers so that I barely had to twist the nut in order for it to get tight. It'll save you from having to thread the nut all the way down 34 different turns, and you can do it just enough that the nut is tight, the lock threads are all the way engaged, and it just saves you so much time. And if you're going to have all of that extra length of the bolt sticking out, you might as well just cover it up with something. You never know, like in the future, if you need to take the chute blocker off, something could hit those bolts. Heck, you might get your foot caught on a bolt. You never know. It just gives you a little bit more protection over the threads of the bolt. So again, you can see that I drilled out another hole here, and I believe this one was a hole that was already in my deck, so I just had to round it out a little bit so the bolt would fit, and then I put my spacer on top and the nut, and then the third one I'm getting ready to put on now. Once you get all the nuts and bolts ran through with your spacers and everything is together but loose, you can go ahead and push the blocker against your deck as tight as you can get it and start cranking down on the nuts to get everything nice and secure. So once you have all three of the nuts and bolts tight, the next step you're going to do is just put the spring on the handle that keeps the flap open and closed. That was definitely the hardest part of the entire project. So if you have some type of a spring puller, definitely use it. I don't actually have a spring puller in all of the automotive tools that I have, and I honestly have no idea why I've never got a spring puller. But just work with it, be careful, because that thing does have a ton of tension on it. But as soon as it snaps on, it's easy and you're done and you're good to go. So overall, the entire project took me about 30 minutes. It's not hard to get everything together. The kit is very well laid out. And again, you only have 3 bolts to drill through the deck, so there's not very many parts and pieces at all. One thing I did right here, I believe I switched the bolt to the opposite direction so that I would have a better way to get the spring on. And right here you can see kind of how the operation of the kit works. But that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if it helped you out, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because next spring I will go through an entire overview of what I like about this kit, what I don't like about it, things I would change. And if you have any other questions about the Z540R, the Z545R, or this advanced chute blocker, please be sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and I will get back to you in a timely manner. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.